journalist. So that's how I picture dream of becoming. At least I'm trying to achieve that, you know, because right now, if I'm doing mass comm, at the same time, this we're doing coffees, so I'm still on the track. I'm not like Swabra who's already taken by coffee.
Yeah. You know, the most amazing thing is that actually all the three of us here have done mass comm at a certain level.
Wow.
Okay, and
so we have one thing in common.
Yes, we have something in common at least. The other thing we have in common is that, you know, we all passionate about coffee, which is a very good thing. So, Swabra, you told us that a friend of yours, who's now like your brother, introduced you to the coffee industry.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I know that when someone introduces you, there is always a pitch they give you. Yeah. It's like if I want someone, let's say the Coffee Messiah always goes out to convert people and he has to give a pitch of why should I join the coffee business instead of actually starting a boutique, okay? Which one will make more sense? So what were some of those things that he told you about the coffee business that actually pulled you into it?
Actually, the most interesting part about it was he also didn't know anything about coffee. he wasn't a barista by then. He just told me, you have to do this course and then come to Dubai and make a lot of money because you know the coffee business, there is money. So I also went into it to study to go and get money. But along the way, of course, I fell in love and I decided to stay in Uganda.
All right, so you talked about Dubai. Most of the people we've had on the show have had some experience with the Middle East. We had a guy who worked in Kuwait as a barista. So moving from Uganda to Dubai, do you go and work as a barista, or you went and got involved, you know, into other businesses?
I went to Dubai way back. I think that was around it was around 2014, but it wasn't coffee. Yeah, I knew coffee after I came back to Uganda. Yeah, because he was like, now that you're back for your vacation, you should do something different and then come back as someone new. Yes, that's when I went into the coffee industry.
Amon, I remember last time we were talking about you not wanting to go out of the country, you know, to become a barista. And I don't know if your mind has changed since then, yeah. But like most of our baristas go to Dubai, they go to UAE, yeah. I really haven't heard of any barista who has gone maybe to America, maybe to Europe. Is it easier as a barista to go from Uganda to the UAE than it is to go maybe to Europe or to America?
Well, guys do go in the UK, in the US. Guys do go, but only that these people go in the line of maybe doing hotels, not coffee shops. Because it's because someone is easy to access that side, and whoever goes that side, now there's a lot of connection that side, so people get to know that okay, Emma went to UAE. But when someone goes maybe to UK, it will be hard for someone to know, because maybe like it's a family or a family friend who gets to know that, you know what, Emma went to UK. But people do go that side, and they make a lot of money.
That's very interesting. Still talk about Dubai. I know there are very many differences basically between Dubai and Uganda. Okay, and going there, I believe there was that cultural change. So how were you able to deal with the culture change? Because I know that Uganda is more of a freestyle kind of place, and Dubai is really a strict place, especially when it comes to ladies. So how were you able to manage the culture change from Uganda then to Dubai?
It was really tough. It was tough for the first months. I think the first 2 months, and then of course the fact that I went to Dubai as you know, like looking for a job and all that. There are also other people who come to Dubai that are not from that country. So that kind of gave me a sense that I'm not alone in this. So of course you have to make friends. You have to learn the language, because learning the language is the most important thing to do. So I caught up with the situation.
Okay, so did you learn the language?
Yes, of course.
Okay, that's very interesting. So
I like the language.
If I went to Dubai and wanted to order a cup of coffee, okay, how would I say that in Arabic?
I don't remember.
So basically you learned a few things, like maybe greeting.
Yes.
You know?
I used to know all of it actually, but it's been a while. I don't remember all of it.
Because in most cases, when you learn a language, what you get to know is how you greet and everything's like to keep you running in case you get lost. It's like those guys who come to Uganda. What they need to know is mwasuze mutya, oli bulungi, something like that.
Yeah.
But they can't go beyond that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like how you say that, oli bulungi.
Because that's how they say it.
Accent.
That's how they say it.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I also believe that dealing with people, basically when you're a barista or at that time you're a waitress, okay,
Yes.
you have to deal with people, okay, and
Yes.
customers are really different. You'll find a customer who's really nice and sweet. Then there are those who are backing orders at you.
Yes.
You know, there are those that you can't deal with. So did you ever find yourself in a situation whereby you were presented with a customer who was really harsh, okay, and how did you deal with that situation?
The first thing these people do is to train you,
Okay.
customer care, how to handle clients, because of course they also know how clients behave.
Yeah.
So you start up with everything like the day when you know what's coming.
Okay.
Yes, because you're in a country that is not yours.
Mm.
So every time you could get maybe a harsh client, you could know how to handle.
Okay.
You just be polite and apologize, and then you get the order and then you move on.
Okay, interesting. To Amon, I know that in Uganda there are certain places that I've gone to and there's totally no customer care. You enter a restaurant, you're ordering for something. First of all, I believe that when you go to a restaurant or to a coffee shop, okay, someone is supposed to come and attend to you, all right? But there are some places that in Uganda you go to a hotel, you go to a coffee shop, and you really have to call the waiter or call the waitress to get served, okay? Amon, how has been your experience in Uganda in relation to customer care, especially where you work? Are we up to the mark of good customer care, or we still need a lot of help in that part?
Well, to be honest, in Uganda we still have the poorest customer care.
Yeah.
Because in most cases, these guys who are in customer care or customer service, most of them are either in school and they're just doing the job for the sake of doing the job, but they are professional customer care attendants.
Yeah.
These guys have studied this. They've gone to like a room and studied this. They have gotten training, so they know how to handle a person. But in Uganda, it's really, really hard to find a very, very good customer care.
Yeah.
For a case of where I have been in a few places, I haven't had that bad experience with customer care because I've went to a coffee shop and I've received instant care, instant customer service, and it's been a nice experience. So I haven't received that bad service.
All right.
Yeah.
According to me, I think that just like you said, we really haven't reached the mark.
Yeah.
We still need a lot of help when it comes to the customer care industry. And I believe that most of the time, you know, you just get a job and there's really not much training put into it. You just start working and you don't know how to deal with people. I believe that the most important part when it comes to such a service industry is not even the coffee you're brewing or it's not the food that you're giving. It's basically how you treat the customers. Okay, that's what keeps them coming back. Okay. So, bro, before we go for a break, basically how we got to you was that you were blowing up on social media. Okay. A little bud told us that there's a certain barista that is now blowing up on social media. Okay, and it really caught our attention. We're like, oh, okay, you know, baristas are actually getting out there. You know, the coffee business is starting to grow.
Yeah.
So before we go for break, I just want you to tell the viewers out there, okay, who are you on social media? What is your name on social media? Are you Swabra Banks? Are you someone else on social media? Because sometimes people have aliases, you know. I'm one on Facebook, I'm one person, then on Instagram, I'm another person. So before I go into a break, just tell the people who you are on social media.
On social media, I am a barista.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
what
both
I use.
on all your social
All
media
my
platforms?
social media platforms, yes.
Okay. Yeah, please.
That is Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to get into a break right now. In the studio, we have Amon Mukisa, the Coffee Messiah, and we also have Swabra Banks, the Coffee Goddess, and me, the Coffee Human, Ateng Emmanuel. We'll take a break right now, and when we get back, we're going to talk more about how you can brand yourself in the coffee business. Stay right there. This is House of Talent Television. Welcome back to House of Talent. This is the Coffee Break Show where we get to talk everything about coffee. And in the studio with me, I have Amon, the Coffee Messiah, and Swabra Banks, the Coffee Goddess. And basically, we've been talking about her life. Where did she start from, and how did she end up in the coffee business? We also had Amon telling us about his experience and what he wanted to be, when he grew up. He said he wanted to be, a journalist, okay, which I believe that you're studying, okay. You got me wrong. I thought you wanted to be a model, but here we are.
Why did you think I wanted to be a model?
Maybe you look like one.
Yes. I mean, when someone looks at him, you can see the well-kept beard, the well-kept hair, the nice shirt. I think it's something that you really need to look into.
Maybe I should.
Yes, you should. Okay. At least we'll say we know someone famous. Yeah, but like I said before, we went into a break. We're just getting into basically branding in the coffee business. Okay. Before I saw your profile on Instagram, I really hadn't seen any other barista who would put themselves out there. It's like being a barista is only what you do when you're at your coffee shop or when you're at your place of employment. Okay, it's not like how you have all these social media influencers, always putting out their videos, tweeting on Instagram. I really haven't had anything from a barista. Okay, and it's good to have someone with experience. Okay, we just want to know, how do I start? If as a layman, I've gone to barista school, I'm a barista, where would I start when it comes to branding myself as a barista?
I think the first thing you have to do is get the passion.
Okay.
Yes, because you can do everything, but as long as you don't have the passion for it, you're not going to make people love it.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you have to fall in love with it first, and then do some research. Don't be in the comfort zone. You have to do some research, know more about the industry, be down to earth. You don't have to show off and all that. And have content. You should have content. Always have content. People love to see what is unique about the industry. What is she doing other people are not doing? How come she's doing this and other people are not doing it? Let me follow her. Let me try to do as she's also doing. So at the end of the day, you make people love what you're doing. If you also love what you're doing.
Yeah, so basically the first thing you're saying is have a plan.
Yes.
Okay? Sit down with yourself and say, you know what, this is what I want to achieve.
Yes.
Okay, these are the steps to it. All right, so I have a plan. This is what I want to do. Okay, but I'm not yet out there on social media. One of the first things when you're basically picking a name, when you're picking social media platforms or what you're going to be on social media is picking a name.
Yes.
Okay? The name, I believe, has to stand out.
Yes.
And the name has to be catchable, something that will stay.
Yes.
All right, so you use I am a barista. Okay, how did you come up with this name? I believe that there were countless other names you'd have just used for Banks. I believe that in itself is a very good name.
Yes.
So how did you end up with I am a barista?
I'm one person who is very proud about being a barista. So the name just came up because I'm proud of being a barista. And, people used to call me Banks. And I wanted to stop that, to stop people to call me Banks. And maybe start calling me barista. So I wanted to send a message out there that I am a barista. Yes, I'm not a barista.
Interesting. All right, Amon, when it comes to branding, what would be the first step in your regard, in your perspective?
Well, when it comes to branding, I think it's the cause and the value you stand for. Because branding involves personalization or a personality, then it involves this other side we're putting out. Because I try to ask myself, why are we not having baristas taken as ambassadors of certain things? For example, we're having different artists come out and they're ambassadors of tourism, and yet coffee is a very, very key major factor in maybe tourism. Why don't we have these baristas come out and they're like, you know what, Swabra Banks is the ambassador of tourism in terms of coffee, she's going to influence coffee growing in a park or in Gulu. So why don't we have that? I think like as Swabra is saying, you need to know why you're doing something, and you need to come out of the cage and start doing that. Because if we have various baristas have traits of branding themselves, for example, if I am a barista and I know, okay, I want to go beyond being the station, I want to be out there. I want to show that I'm a proud barista and I can do whatever it takes to be that good person who can be approached and they give me business and I want to influence for a certain cause. So that would be a good thing. So like Sobra is saying, I just want to know how she came out with the name I am a barista, because it's really working. Because yes,
Thank you.
someone asks you, who are you? I'm a barista. So how did you come out with that?
As I've said before, I'm proud to be a barista, and I am a barista. It's not special. It's just that I wanted to send a message to people that I'm a barista now, and I'm proud to be one. That's how I came up with the name, just like that. I am a barista.
Have you been approached by different companies to like do business with you because of I am a barista?
Yes, because everyone is like, what does barista mean? And then they have to look it up, and then they're like, oh, it means someone who does this and this and this. Because a barista is something huge. A barista doesn't just make coffee. No, we make a lot of things. You know that we make juice, we make ice things, and all that. Yeah, so being a barista is something that really makes people want to know who a barista is, not just Swabra Banks, because someone will be like, oh, Swabra Banks and I see coffee, or maybe she's in the coffee business.
Now, Emma, you see, like, she's speaking about being a barista. Most of us didn't know that a barista does coffee, does juices, does cocktails, various beverages. So at least if we brand ourselves as baristas, we get to put our image out there, and we'll get some business coming through.
I remember someone telling me that the first time he heard the word barista, he thought it was
a lawyer.
A lawyer.
Because let me tell you something. I was having a conversation with now his spokesperson of NUP, Joe Senyon. So the first time I met him, he asked me, "What do you do?" Because it was after my senior six. I'm like, I'm a barista. Wait, I'm studying to be a barista. For you already a barista.
So most times people actually get it confused. We still haven't reached that place in Uganda where we know what a barista is. We can't really put the line between a barista of law and a barista as someone who does coffee. So I have my plan, picked out my super cool name. All right, I'm ready to go on social media. Okay. What is that brand identity? Every time I look at Swabra Banks' account, every time I look at Amon's account, what are some of those messages that you want me to get without you ever talking to me? There are some social media handles of different people that you see, okay, and you just get certain keywords immediately, like this one is friendly, this one is really nice. What are some of those words that come to someone when they log onto your Instagram page?
In most cases, when I'm posting something on my Instagram, I make sure I'm sending out a message. It doesn't have to be coffee specifically. It can be something else. So I always want to show people that a barista is not just making the latte art and all that. It comes right from the garden to the cup. So in most cases, when I'm posting something on social media, I make sure I communicate through my posts or my pictures or my anything that a barista does this and this and this. It's not just coffee. It's a lot of things. So when someone looks onto my page, it's like, oh, even a barista does this. Oh, even a barista does this. Yes, that's what I look at when I'm posting anything.
So I actually love that perspective, showing people that you don't have to be boxed up in only one thing. I'm a barista, but I can actually do other cool things. So Amon, I remember I think it was last week when I met you at Enduro. I saw you basically interacting with one of your customers, okay, and it was a good thing to see, because that interpersonal relationship you have between a barista and a customer is a very important thing. Okay, so what are some of those qualities that your customers have told you that you have? Some of the things that they have complimented you about that actually identify you as Amon Bukisa, the barista.
Me as a person?
Yes.
Well, I think most of them have complimented about the communication skills, because it all goes down to the communication skills. Those simple communication skills. Most people tend to think it's just a thing, but it's a very, very, very crucial thing. Because just imagine someone is talking to you, but you're not paying attention to them. For example, I'm speaking to Swabra, but I'm looking at you. That's already a turn off. Someone needs attention. Needs to be shown that, okay, I'm talking to you, I'm attending to you. So if you're attending to a client or having a conversation, because sometimes you can't be busy on a station. She's a trainer right here.
Yeah.
I don't know why she trains her students, for example, to handle a busy station. But just imagine now I have a busy station and a certain Edwin comes on station and is like, okay, he wants to have that conversation.
Yeah.
How are you going to handle that Edwin? To show him that, you know what, Edwin, I'm busy, you know, but let's talk after having this whole mess worked out, you know. So that's what keeps you going, or keeps a brand of a barista compared to someone who's going to just come, okay, I'm busy, and just comes out and say, oh, why Edwin? Don't want to be busy in Vaco, you know, something like that. So it's a way how you interact or how you communicate with this person that keeps you in that same state they see. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's not just about, you know, like I used to think before, you know, I knew about the whole barista thing. I used to think being a barista is basically just pouring coffee for someone.
You see, it's called, you know, the word is a barista, which means it comes from the bar, then barista, you know. So it means it's a bar. Someone can access that bar, you know. So if someone accesses that bar, you don't have a right to chase them away. That's not because it's a bar.
Yeah.
So you have to go basically above and beyond what you do. It's not just about giving them the coffee. You have to create some sort of relationship.
It actually means a bartender who is a star. That's what it means.
Maybe Emma, I just want to know from Swabra, what are you using as your brand to add value on the coffee industry? Is it just Swabra, oh, I am a barista, just for the sake of social media? But how are you using I am Swabra as a brand to add value on the coffee industry, and how are you doing that?
First of all, I'm doing that through my trainings. I make sure I give the real content, the genuine content, and then quality. A lot of people are in the business, but they don't, you know, give quality out there. They prefer getting a lot of money without even putting in. So to me, it goes back to quality. You have to make sure you give people quality, both the knowledge part of it and the, you know, the coffee part of it. Yeah, quality.
Okay. Before we get into another break, okay, I know that, okay, now we have the plan, we have the name. Basically, now I want people to know that, you know what, let's say I'm Emmanuel, I'm a coffee human, because I have a goddess and a messiah here.
No, now you're a coffee genius.
You know, so these are the different words. I want people to know I'm friendly. I want people to know that I'm not only a barista, there's basically other things that I do, okay? How do you go about creating your content? Because I believe that is the most important thing when it comes down to social media. You have to create content that is basically engaging and content that will keep people coming back. You know, so before we go for a break, how do you as Swabra Banks, you know, sit down and create your content that will capture the attention of other people?
Research. Through research, I do a lot of research actually. All the time I'm on my phone doing research. Research comes through in a lot of ways. First of all, you have to show people that we have competitions. You know, baristas have competitions. It's not just about other people. So there are a lot of interesting parts in our coffee industry that people don't know yet. People don't even know we have competitions here in Uganda.
Yet I was actually about to say we should start one, but now
we
that
do.
You said there
Yes, we do. I actually tried to compete. I think that was 2020, but the COVID thing came up and everything was stopped. So you have to do a lot of research and make people, first of all, love the industry. You have to know what people like. Not just putting things on social media and all that. No, you have to know what's trending, what should I post, how should I put it out there, and you have to follow a lot of baristas to know what's going on.
So you just don't come out there and, you know, throw something on social media without a plan.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to take a break right now, and we'll still be talking to Swabra. We also want to know how Amon comes up with this content, because I know he's not only a barista, there's a lot of other things you actually do. So I want to know how he comes up with this content, and we'll also be brewing coffee. Everyone who comes on the show has to brew for us a good cup of coffee. So we're basically rating up to now who has given us the best cup of coffee. We'll be doing that after the break. This is the Coffee Break on House of Talent Television. Welcome back to the Coffee Break on House of Talent Television. My name is Ateng Emmanuel, and remember, you can catch us on our social media handles at House of Talent Television. That's on our Twitter and on our Facebook. The show will be airing there. You can also catch us on our website, which is houseoftalentug.com. Don't miss the show. If there's someone out there, if you know a barista, someone who's involved in the coffee business and they're not watching the show right now, give them a call and let them know we are on. Before we went into the break, we're basically talking to the coffee goddess and the coffee messiah about how they come up with content. And Swabra told us, she sits down and she has to do research on how to, get very good content and put it out there. Content that is basically engaging and content that will keep people glued to, your social media. Amon, I know that you're not only a barista, you're also a YouTuber. Okay, so how do you go about getting content for your YouTube channel?
Well, one thing I have to say is, first, you just have to know what you want to put out there.
Right.
And you as a person, what are your values? Because you won't do something that doesn't follow under your values.
Yeah.
And what's the cause? I just doing content just for the case of doing content. That's why when you start like doing such type of content, you end up losing it. But when you have the cause, you're like, okay, my cause is vegetation or growing trees. What am I going to do to make sure that we have a larger number of villagers? Okay, that might sound rude. A larger number of people in villages,
Yeah.
grow more trees, you know? So you start like planning that. So that's how you come up with your content.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So I've come up with content, I'm out there now, and I know that there are certain people, influencers, musicians, different people on social media who are not easily accessible. Okay, I believe that one of the things you have to be as an influencer is be accessible to people, because people want to interact with you, they want to ask you different types of questions, and there's this whole thing of these days that, sliding into someone's DM, which has become, when you say, I sent a DM to someone, they demonize you, they look at you like, So I just wanted to ask Swabra, how approachable are you on social media? Are you that kind of person? Let's say if I ask a question, I send you a message, do you get back in time, or do you even get back at all? Or it's just, social media, what you see is what you get, and that's the end of it. So how do you go about, talking to people on social media?
I do get back, though not that quickly. I do get back to people and of course interact with them. Some come with questions and you have to answer them, like make them fall in love with the industry, and they end up saying, oh, I didn't know this, I didn't know actually you people are, of recent, a friend of mine even told me, I didn't know baristas get certified. After I told him that, we go to the academies and all that and we get certified. So the whole thing is, I get back to them, and in the process of getting back to them, I make sure at least I educate them in one way or another how beautiful the industry is, and at least they don't end up going back as they came to my inbox.
Interesting. Amon, how do you take advantage of that kind of scenario whereby someone sends you a message and they want to get to know more about you and also about the coffee business? So how do you take advantage of that? Do you give them all the information, or do you tell them, you can find me at such and such a place and we can talk? Or you actually take your time and say, you know what, let's talk through this, let's get on a video call or something like that, and let me walk you through it. So how do you take advantage of that kind of interaction?
Well, it depends on how that someone has slided into my DMs.
Exactly.
if this person has come with an agenda of, no, just brief information, and I'm at liberty to give out that information, because there might be someone coming in your DM and they want that secret information.
The whole course.
The whole course. Definitely you won't do that. But
course.
if it's just giveable information and it's brief, you can give it to them. But also when it needs like sitting down, talk about it, like in nits and gritties, then you have to set up an appointment and then do that. And by the way, that's how you get your brand out there. Because just imagine Emma came into my DM and you asking me something, but the way I respond to you, I show you that, okay, I'm available, but not so much available.
Exactly.
So if you want me, please make an appointment with me and we shall meet. then this person will get to know that, okay, this is a high brand that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
I have to pay respect to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, you just advertise yourself there. You bait them
Indirectly.
into
Yes.
you
Yes.
bait them into coming. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So the final question I want to ask on branding is this. Okay, I've become a big brand. I'm out there. People know about me. Okay, how do you keep up there? Because I believe it's easier to rise to the top, but keeping in that spot is a really hard thing to do. So to the both of you, how do I keep up there once I've gotten my brand to that level?
First of all, you have to be friendly, because people like friendly people. You have to be friendly, and you have to be consistent. You don't have to give the same content all the time. You have to keep changing, beautifying, the industry, and all that.
Yeah.
So you have to actually make people love coffee.
Yeah.
That's what I actually do on my social media handles, and I end up getting students. I want to be like you. You've inspired me. Actually, people come to me and they're like, what inspired me into coffee is your love for coffee. I've got a lot of them. Yeah. So you have to give really good content and to be consistent. Yeah, and friendly actually.
And friendly.
Yes.
To Amon, the same thing. How do you keep up there?
Well, I think it's just staying on course.
Yeah.
Because what you used to take you to that top level, it's what you will use to stay on that top level. Because when you lose what you intended to do, then it means this audience will go away from you. They'll be like, okay, Emma no longer does what we subscribed him to do for us. Then why don't we go to someone who needs to do something we subscribe to? So you lose that content.
Yeah.
Hence you're falling.
Okay, interesting. So basically, for those who are watching, if you're a barista, you're involved in the coffee business, even if you're a farmer, I believe that there's a way you can actually brand yourself as a coffee farmer and be I don't think I've heard of anyone. So for a coffee farmer out there, this is a secret tip. This is the right time to brand yourself on social media as a coffee farmer. You don't know how many deals you can actually come up with. Well, we've reached to that point of the show where we get to brew a cup of coffee. We have had very many people here, and we're talking with Amon and saying we need to do a show where we just rate the cups of coffee that we have taken here, and that put a lot of pressure on Swabra, basically, because now she has to make a really good cup of coffee. All right, so Swabra, I know that people watching from home are seeing us with all these, things, and they're wondering, okay, what do they have on the show today? Okay, so we just want to start from the basics. What do we have on our set here, and what kind of coffee are we going to make? So basically, you're just going to run us through it, and I'm going to try and do this with you.
Okay, that's
hopefully I won't make any mistakes.
That's a good thing, because in most cases we teach our people outside there who are viewing to brew this, but today it's hands-on with you also. As they're learning, you're also learning.
It's good that I'm the coffee human here, so I can make a mistake. You guys can't make a mistake. So Swabra, over to you. Just take us through what we have on set and how we're going to do this.
This is an AeroPress. It's a manual or craft brewing equipment.
Okay.
It is portable. You can carry it anywhere you go. So it is categorized it is under black coffee or brewed coffee. So you're going to brew coffee.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so we have our coffee here. We also have a cup with different white things inside. They kind of look like the small pieces of bread we use in the cafe. So just tell us, what do we have here? Why is it white? Can't we get another color like pink or something like that?
These are filter papers actually. We use them to filter our coffee. Reason being, everything is manual, so we need a filter inside there. So this is our filter paper. This is our coffee. This is the AeroPress. This is where the filter paper actually goes. And then our weighing scale right there.
It's amazing that every barista who comes has to weigh their coffee.
You need these things. You don't just have
there's
to
always that average of water to coffee. You have to really
exactly.
Okay, so we have our AeroPress here. We have our filters. And we're just waiting for our water to get ready so we can go with this. We also have this. This looks like a small ping pong.
This is a spoon.
Instrument,
This is a spoon. This one we use it to stir our coffee. It's the barista word is actually bloom.
bloom.
Bloom, not steer,
Okay,
because
so this
everyone
is
knows what
bloom.
steer means.
So you bloom, you don't
Yeah,
steer.
we bloom our coffee.
So we steer tea.
Yes,
coffee.
but we bloom coffee. Yeah.
All right. So as we go on, for those who are at home, it's actually easy to make a cup of coffee. Most people think that you have to have some serious kind of equipment to brew a very good cup of coffee. And I know, Amon, there are people who have asked you, you know, how can I buy this instrument? How can I get this? And I guess you always tell them, you know what, it's easy to make a cup of coffee. You know, you can get a French press or you can get an AeroPress and actually, you know, make this cup of coffee, right? So where do we go next? We have everything set up. I have mine here. I still have no idea where I'm going with this, but let's see how that goes. So what is the capacity of this? Is there a specific capacity, and are there different spoons with different capacities?
Not really, actually, because that's why we need the weighing scale.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the main purpose is making you smart and you work smart to scoop, not just pouring the whole thing.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So here we are.
So you can use any spoon, actually. It's not specific.
Not
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, but this one looks cool. I mean,
Yeah,
it looks
of
more
course.
professional.
Yeah, it's professional. It's the barista spoon, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So as we wait for our water to boil so we can brew this coffee, there are very few ladies that are basically involved in the coffee business. Okay, it's not something that you hear ladies saying, "I'm a barista." Okay, it's more of a male-dominated kind of industry.
Yeah.
So, coming from your perspective, okay, how can we get more ladies into the coffee business? They don't have to only be a barista, they don't have to be a kappa. We can even go down into growing coffee, you know. How do we make it nice? How do we make it cool? How do we make it interesting for ladies to, you know, get into the coffee business?
I think that takes us back to, you know, the schools where we go for this, you know, the where we go for the whole courses and all that. We have a challenge that we have very few schools here in Uganda. So a lot of people are not really that informed. And of course, ladies, I don't know why they are not confident about this industry. Everyone says coffee is for men, but no, it's not. So I think they are not informed. I think it all goes back to being informed about the industry, which actually we are trying to do. Me personally, I'm trying to do that, yes. So we have to also show them that there are very good things in the industry. You can achieve a lot in the industry. Like I talked about the competitions earlier. We go for competitions, for these competitions and all that. People think we are just in this industry to make money, but we are in it to win, to win. Yes, so they have to be confident and informed, I think.
Okay, so Amon, to you, how do we get more women involved? You know, as we get ready to basically brew a cup of coffee and come to the end of the show, how do we get more women involved in the coffee business?
I think it's just a matter of demystifying the myths that are around coffee with women. You know, there are a lot of myths that come along with that coffee dries up women, coffee makes you lose sleep. You know, I think we just need to demystify that, and we shall have more women come on board.
Interesting. So if you're a lady out there, don't be scared to be involved in the coffee business. It's like being a chef. We have very many men who are chefs. You'd think women would actually be the chefs in these big places, but they're men. Okay, so we want to see a point whereby we actually have more female baristas than the males. Okay, so let's get into brewing our coffee right now. I think our water is ready. As we're coming towards the end of the show, but before we get there, let's show you guys how to brew a good cup of coffee by the coffee goddess.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to start by preheating my filter paper. I do this because I don't want my coffee to have that pepper smell in it. So I have to first preheat my filter paper. And then I have my weighing scale here. I need my coffee. So I'm going to be using a ratio of 13 grams of coffee with 200 mLs of water.
So do you also like make your own coffee and grind it, or you just depend on getting coffee from different
I really do make my own coffee. I roast my own coffee. Actually, I'm trying to study how to be a good roaster. I do that at home sometimes.
So there are different parts of basically the coffee industry. I know some people only hear that, you know, being a barista, you know, but you can be a kappa, You know, you can
Yes.
be someone who actually does the growing of the coffee. But I believe that there are also other parts of the coffee business that I've not looked into. Okay, for example, like Abu said, you can be an influencer. Okay, you don't have to be directly involved with the coffee business, but you can actually be an, you can be an influencer. You can be an investor also in the coffee business, because I believe that there are all those other options. Okay, and we shouldn't only look at one side. So it would be a really nice thing to see you guys in future investing in the coffee business. Okay, being big baristas and just going back there and basically giving back. You know, investing and taking the coffee business to the place where it should be. Okay, so yeah, back to our brewing. We're basically poured, I don't know how many ounces of coffee.
I've used
there.
13 grams,
13
of,
grams
coffee.
of coffee.
Yes.
Right?
And
Okay.
then after you pour your coffee into the AeroPress, you have to tare, because you have to measure the
Okay.
water, which
Yeah.
is 200 ml that we are
Okay.
going to use. So as you do this, as you start pouring over,
Yeah.
you have to turn on the timer.
Okay.
Yes.
So for how much time do I have to do that?
You have to pour the water for like 10 seconds.
10 seconds. okay.
Yes. So you pour your water onto the coffee grounds as you look down to your weighing
Okay.
scale, because you don't want to mess up the measurements and all that.
I like the consistency with all the baristas when they come. You know, you have to pour the water in a swirling motion. You know,
Yes.
you just don't pour it.
So I'm going to bloom
you know, anyhow.
a
okay.
little bit for like 10 seconds.
All right. So for those who didn't know, this is the blooming part of it. We
Yeah.
don't stir like we start tea. We
Yes.
bloom the coffee. So what else does this blooming of the coffee do?
It mixes well the
Okay.
coffee,
Yeah.
because it's brewing.
Yeah.
We are brewing, so you have to mix it
Yeah.
well, and of course to let that carbon dioxide out of your coffee.
So you degas the coffee.
Yes, you
basically.
degas the coffee.
Okay. All right, as we honestly wait for our good cup of coffee, no pressure. You know.
Yeah.
I know we kind of put some pressure on you, but no pressure really. Yeah.
So I'm done with my 200
Okay.
ml. So I have to cover my coffee for the aroma not to escape.
Okay.
So I give it like 1 minute.
Alright.
So it's already 1 minute and 21 seconds.
Okay.
So I'm going to need my cup.
Okay, that's
Thank you. You swirl it a little
Yeah.
bit. You can see the reaction.
gas coming up.
Yes. And then you get your cup. Put it right onto it.
And then flip.
Yeah. And then you plunge.
Yeah, so I think that part you have to do a couple of push-ups.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
to basically get yourself strong enough to do that. So for those of you at home and are wondering, okay, what kind of coffee are we doing? This is basically an AeroPress. I believe that you can get this in any of our supermarkets in Uganda. Okay, you don't have to really go out and try and get a big machine. You can get something simple like this, an AeroPress or a French press, that will basically help you make a good cup of coffee, especially in the morning. You know, when you wake up in the morning and you want to run to work and you want a good cup of coffee, you can always depend on this. Okay, I believe that a good cup of coffee in the morning will start your day right. Okay, so I think we're done with brewing our first cup of coffee. I think
Yep.
the thing about the AeroPress is that you can only make one cup of coffee at a time.
Yes, you can only make one cup.
Yeah, so this is mainly for single people.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, for strong coffee takers.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is strong.
because
So
it,
this
it
makes
really
a
makes
stronger coffee.
Yes, stronger coffee.
Okay, so we've come towards the end of our show, and thank you very much for basically showing us how we can, you know, make an AeroPress. We have had people doing French presses. We haven't yet had someone doing a cappuccino here or a latte. I believe that somewhere down the road we'll have you come here,
Yeah.
or we'll come and actually visit you.
Yeah, that
you know,
would
at
be
your
great.
coffee shop, and you can show us how to do these different things. But before we go, Amon, we're talking about how to get women, basically, and different ladies into the coffee business. Okay, so how, as a barista, okay, would you look into that camera and just encourage someone who's out there? Especially yesterday, the S6 results came out, and there is that uncertainty of a college is going to open, a university is going to open, so we need options. Okay, and I believe that getting into the coffee business is an option right now. Okay, so Amon, I just want you to look there. I know there's a lady who's a bit confused. Should I get into it? Should I not get into it? Do I have the money for it? Just look to the camera and tell them why they should get involved in the coffee business.
Well, Emma, I think the whole process has to be started by our government. Yeah. In most cases, we don't like to bring the government's or the government side into our own decisions, but it's so crucial because we follow their guidelines and policies. Yeah. So at this time, we need to realize that there's need to be change. For example, can we have a certain way that we can get a break of people come out and go get some skills, because people are sitting at home, senior 6, senior 4, P7, they're all now at home. At least now they would have used this time to get hands-on skills. By the time they go back to school, at least they have a skill, so that if in case something fails out there, they return back to this skill. So to a senior 4 vacist, senior 6, please go out there and get a skill. It doesn't necessarily need to be coffee, but any skill that you can do besides class or school. Yes.
Thank you, Ahmad. So Swabra, thank you very much for being on the show with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a very good pleasure, and I believe that it's not the last time.
Yes.
We want to host actually one of your students, okay? Because it's always good to get something from the student's perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a hash teacher and we don't know about it.
Speaking about our students, I have Sherry Awori. She's her student, and she was so happy to know that she's going to be hosted on the coffee break.
Interesting. So your students actually out there. So
yes,
we'll host one of your students, and we just want to know what kind of person you are from their perspective. Yeah. So before we go, I just also want you to look into the camera. Just give us your parting words, to the ladies out there, and also to the baristas, to the coffee community and the industry. What would be your last words for them?
To my fellow baristas, actually, I want to thank them a lot because they are pushing the industry out there. At least now we are recognized as baristas. So I thank them for that. And keep your social media handles active. Keep them active. Keep them active. That's what I can tell you.
Well, we've come towards the end of our show. We just want to thank the coffee goddess, Sobra Banks. That's a new name for her, basically. And also the coffee messiah, Amon Mukisa. And from me, the coffee human, Ateng Emmanuel, thank you for taking time to be with us here, brewing a good cup of coffee. I know sometimes you guys always wonder, okay, how does their coffee taste? The cups of coffee we brew here, you can always get down to different coffee shops. You can visit Amon, you can visit Swabra Banks at her coffee shop and just get to taste, what kind of coffee they make. But apart from that, do always catch the coffee break, bringing you the best about coffee, teaching you different elements, always on House of Talent Television. This has been the Coffee Break, and my name is Ateng Emmanuel.
Yeah, I'm doing different paintings. I do all branding right now.
Okay.
So as you say that I need like to do community work and do other business. So I'm doing White Star. I'm doing White Star. You do know White Star Magic?
No.
So that's
soap.
World soap.
Yes.
Oh.
And I'm doing cowboy. It's like people get my number, call me. For me, what I do, I paint my street art on the wall. I put my number there. You know, everyone is passing there.
Yes.
Everyone passing on
That's
my
really good,
paintings. Okay, so I don't just paint there. I just paint. Then after writing my name, then I put my number. So I'm getting more all my business. People calling me, Abdul, I want you to paint my picture. Can you? Yes, I can paint. You understand? Even those companies like that of White Star, they call me, Abdul, can you do wall branding art on the walls? Yes, I can do. You understand? Even like to do community work in Kawempe, it's like I can't move from Kawempe to other side. You understand? It's very difficult for me to go in town. You understand? Or in Nakasero. You understand? People ask a lot of money to brand your stuff, to put your work. Yeah. That's why I'm mainly working in there in Kawempe. And it's very difficult for me to move from Kawempe and go to Masaka. You understand? That's a big challenge.
But I think it is. I think you can move to Masaka.
Yeah, I can.
Graffiti is also about resistance, resilience, and
yes.
what is it about? You know, it's also advocacy. You know, when you're doing a mask, the Corona campaign.
Yeah.
Corona is not only for people in Kawempe to know about. It can also work in Masaka. It can work in Toro. But I think the challenge is, how do you find those spaces?
Yes.
I mean, graffiti, like there's a mural here at Aldeons. I don't know whether you saw it.
And on that, people ask me money to paint my work there.
Yes.
I don't just go there, just putting it. You understand?
For the teams out there, okay, we have very many teams in the NBL. What is City Oil doing right that these other teams are not doing? Because we need to see more teams actually, give you guys competition and also get to that international level. All right. So what are other teams not doing that they should emulate?
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. There's so many things. Definitely, as a club, we are very ambitious. Okay. When we had just started this club, we said we wanted to be in Africa competition 5 years later.
Yeah.
But when we came in immediately, we won the league and we changed our mind that we don't want to think 5 years later.
5 years.
We want to start now. And because of that mindset that we want to be playing at the top level in Africa, that means you have to do so many things back here at home to be at that level. So we are very ambitious. Of course, to play at international level there, you have to be a powerhouse at home.
Yeah.
That's why we have to win for us to be able to play international, because those are the rules. If you're playing ball, you have to be a champion.
You have to be the champion
at home. Yeah, if you're not, then you can't play ball.
Yeah.
So we want to keep winning at home because we want to be in ball.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, we win because we have money and all that." I really don't think it's about money. I can tell you that there are some clubs that play players better than City Oilers.
No, that's not the perception. It's City Oil is the money bags in Ugandan basketball.
That's not true. I think clubs have to really look at themselves and see what they are doing wrong, where they are lacking. Is it the coaching staff? Is it the personnel, the players? Is it their training program? You know, there's so many things that you have to put in place for you to have a very good product. So we look at those. You know, we want our players to have accountability. You know, if you're not training, you've got to have a very good reason why you're not training. Okay, we hear stories. Some players, some clubs have some star players who don't show up for training. We can't have that in City Oil. You know, however big you are, we'll let you. We'll let you out.
Big game.
Yeah, we want our players to account for everything that they do on court. Okay, if you are a player who is supposed to be scoring, you know, 20 points for us, and you don't, you have to tell us why, you know, you're doing that. So we want to make sure that we know the reasons why you're not playing well. Is it because of coaching? Is it because of this? Is it because of, you know, we want to check everything and see that everything is accounted for, and the coaches, you know, if we lose a game, I can tell you that there are meetings that happen, and we have.
And what is the nature of those meetings?
The management has to know why. You know, why did we lose? You know, so you have to have reasons why, and they have to be good reasons. So that, you know, keeps us in check. Okay, for us to try and be at a high level player to always improve and progress. Yeah.
So basically, teams have to be more accountable, not just on court, but even off court.
Everything that you do on court, everything that you do as a coach, you know, as even management themselves. Sometimes we sit with management and we ask them, we are lacking this and this. Why aren't you doing that? Because that, you know, helps the team, you know, to play at a high level. Yeah. So it is not just players, but, you know, all departments have to elevate and work together.
It is a CEO Bench, Eddie Okela, Linda Tibot in the studio. We're talking about change management, leadership and transformation. And of course, Linda is from the Bite of Benin, a West African restaurant based in the capital city of Kampala, Uganda, in the Pearl of Africa. If you haven't been to Uganda, then you don't know what you're missing in the African continent. You can see Linda's a restaurant in Kampala. So, and then switching from law to food, this really shows you that we are a place to visit. But aside from that, Linda, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
We're going to dive into the restaurant business. First, we need to serve you some coffee, so please.
Is this fresh from Africa?
Yes.
West Africa?
This is no. This is fresh from Bududa, and since the French is talking about the new Africa, France relationship, we decided we need to have a French press in this thing, so that we can put the French to their cold.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci. And so you can also pour a cup of coffee for yourself, and we like to make the CEOs feel okay. And Linda is in the studio feeling okay. Take a drink, because the West African food is really hot. We know that.
Yes. It depends. Yes. as my master's law lecturer would say, it depends.
Yes. But I want to take you straight, Linda, first, in fact, on that question. The Nigerian food, the West African food in Kampala, do you have customers? Because you have food. One time I was in Nigeria, you guys, let me tell you the story. So in Nigeria, and we walked into a restaurant, and they said they give you water, you wash your hands very nicely, and then
why are you laughing?
There's a big people in suits. We're all in suits, and like guys starts removing their jacket off.
Oh, that should have won you.
Yes. And then the other guys, the people are standing nicely, service guys doing the stuff. You remove your jacket off, you give it to this gentleman. And then you remove your tie off, you give it to this gentleman. Remove your shirt off, you give it. Then we're given the towel. I'm like, yo, Oga, what we're doing now in this restaurant? I said, no, you're going to eat food. This is how we do it here. I was like, no. This is like, I'm going to be kidnapped.
Oh, gosh.
When we went inside to eat food, everyone was eating food, but they were crying. They were sweating like.
It was tears of joy. You know, it was tears of the joy from the taste, the amazing taste of food.
Let's talk about change management from the West African food. Let's talk about the bite of Benin itself now. That food, I don't know, you know, Africa has its dynamic. We have so many other tribes in Africa, different cuisines in Africa here as a continent. You cannot finish. Uganda alone has 54 of them. Yeah. You can't even finish. These 54 have sub-dishes, not everything is there. But the bite of Benin in Kampala, what is it about? What are you serving? Why the bite of Benin? Tell us more about this restaurant.
Okay. First of all, the name Bite of Benin, we were deliberate about the name, right? It's a play on the word to bite, but there's actually a body of water called the Bite of Benin, which is situated within the greater Gulf of Guinea on the coast of West Africa. So it's either called the
That's
Bite.
The only time I learned the only thing I respect from my history. These are the things I don't respect. Because now you're talking about
So it's either the Bite or the Bay of Benin, but we named it Bite of Benin, and it's always a great conversation starter, right? So our intention is to offer food across the 16 West African countries, right? We have foods that are common to us. We have the jollof rice, we'll talk about that. We have the different sauces. So what you'll find is maybe slight differences in the technique or some of the ingredients used.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's what the Bite of Benin is all about.
Yes.
Why did you decide to put this restaurant in Kampala, not anywhere else?
First, we're based here in Uganda, but more importantly, we wanted to set up a place where you would come in and explore West African food. So the Bite of Benin is not just about food. Our plan actually is to have it as a center where you will have the arts, so music, spoken word, poetry, artists, painters, sort of like a gallery also, showcasing what we have in West Africa. That is the overall plan for the Bite of Benin. So it's not just about food, but actually bringing West Africa to Uganda, to East Africa. Yeah. Okay. One dish at a time.
Wow. One dish at a time.
One dish at a
time.
The
West Africans always want to own Africa. Their dish.
Sorry. A sip of coffee.
You always want to own Africa. We want to know, is it because you feel like the rest of the East Africa and South Africa and the Central Africa are not doing a good job in marketing Africa, or you guys just say we're going to take over? We're going to take over, dog. If you
at all.
Let's talk about this.
At all. So the average West African, like I said, right? I've had instances where because we are, should I say overly confident? Well, I don't think we're overly confident, but there's that confidence in who you are as a person, right? And you just walk up and, I've heard stories of, my auntie was in Russia at some point. There was an Igbo man selling plantain, gonja, in Siberia. We don't have snow in Nigeria. Not Siberia quality snow. No. You understand? So I think it's not that we want to own the rest of Africa. We're just outgoing and embracing with love. No. But I think most West Africans are quite adventurous. But I think it's also common to a lot of Africans. Maybe it's just that we were very maybe boisterous about it. I wouldn't use the word loud. So some people take it that is being arrogant about it, but no. If you get to know a West African, what you see is what you get, and we're open about it.
Okay. The Bite of Benin and the dishes served at the Bite of Benin. I mean, some pictures, we're going to put some pictures up there. And when I posted about you, so many of my friends were like, "Oh, you're bringing Linda! Wow!"
Oh, thank you guys.
Let's look at the plates there. Can you take us through? What is this, Linda? I mean, it's just too busy. This is like
now
luxurious.
This is a feast, not just for the eyes.
Now,
but
guys,
this is a feast for you and the stomach. So we have, so that's the Ghana peanut soup, and it's served in that bowl. It's an earthenware bowl, right?
How is it prepared?
You'd have to don on your apron, and please do report at the Bite of Benin. Let me know when you're able to. We shall organize that. And of course, a bowl of pepper soup. So yes, pepper soup, as the name says, it is pepper soup, right? But it's spicy. It's spicy and it's fragrant. It's nose tingling. It's described that way, and it is nose tingling. What I love is, so it makes you sweat, right? But you see, it's a spicy, flavorful dish. You know, you can get food that is hot and that's it. There's no flavor to it.
You Nigerian make us eating kamula in Uganda like nothing.
No, we don't.
Your food is like
we don't do kamulari, right? What we do is what do you call it? We season the dish with the peppers. And can I say, in Uganda, you have amazing, lovely chilies, right? The habaneros. The orange one, oh, it's the fragrance, the bouquet is amazing, right? The green one, there's a particular sauce made in Nigeria with that, it's called ayamase, or fada sauce, right? Then the red ones. But what I've noticed in the difference in Ugandan chili is that it burns and then it eases off. The West African one will remind you.
So what is this?
Now this is
what this one look nice, dogga.
This one a correct dish. It's on a correct dish. So there is the jollof rice, which we'll talk about, right? So we have this package at the Bite of Benin. It's called Jollof 30. So every Thursday, you get portions of jollof rice, stir-fried chicken or stir-fried beef, party plantain, and then either spinach sauce or coleslaw. We have both vegetarian and non-vegetarian. So the vegetarian one, we have tofu, which is made out of soya beans. I call it the vegetarian chicken, right? And we make it different ways. We have it both in the spinach sauce or as a stew, or we grill it as suya. Suya is common to West Africa, right? And this whole package you get for 30,000 every Thursday. So this is an introduction to West Africa, if you will, if you haven't had West African food.
Wow. I mean, it looks tasty for some people.
It is very tasty.
It's very inviting, but I can also warn you that this food is hot.
Well, you see, at the Bite of Benin, we allow you to dial your spiciness, but don't come and order Linda's level. No.
All right, so let's talk about this. What's this, Linda? I mean,
so this is fresh, whole grilled, charcoal grilled fish.
Is that kamulari and always seeing pepper?
No. This is.
We have some kamulari there over and
no. So you choose. If you want it with correct chili, we infuse it with the chili. You see, the beauty is you're eating it, and you know. It's So we have the whole grilled fish, and it's filling. I find just for one person, it's sufficient actually.
So this is all the dishes from.
This is some of the dishes.
Some of the dishes from Africa. So what if I am coming to West Africa, or maybe I don't have the air ticket to go to West Africa? First of all, it's very difficult to get to West Africa because there's no direct flight.
Unfortunately,
to Nigeria.
Unfortunately,
we hope that Uganda Airlines is going to come up with one that Ugandans can actually move. Some of us have been lucky to go to Nigeria, to go to a bit of Ghana, and to experience a bit of West Africa. I mean, volleyball has been able to take me all across the world.
Oh, excellent.
And through volleyball, I met people like Timothy. Oh, man. He's a Nigerian guy. He's a referee. He's loud. And when it comes to food, we're with Timothy in Algeria, and Timothy diss everyone in Algeria.
But in a good way.
I go come to this country to eat food, and this will go give me this food that don't even taste anything. What's wrong with you guys? Not in Nigeria, not in Africa though. I like, Timothy, just relax.
Leave people at their food alone. I know.
And Timothy